Hey everybody, it's JJ Kitchen from jaysbeard.com and Jay Kitchen's Beard channel on YouTube. I hope you're doing well today. We are doing a remembrance of a gentleman named Amp Fiddler. Now, a lot of you folks don't know who he is. He's been behind the scenes on a ton of music throughout the years. Before we jump into the remembrance of Amp Fiddler, if you'd be kind enough to hit the subscribe button, that would really help us out down the line. Thank you so much. He passed on December 17th. He had cancer for quite some time, I believe. He was 65 years old. Now, Amp Fiddler, also known as Joseph Fiddler, which was his given name, he played for Parliament-Funkadelic, and he mentored a producer named J Dilla, who is not familiar to me, but if you're in hip-hop, I'm pretty sure you know who that is. His family said in an Instagram post that our beloved Amp Fiddler, Detroit's own world-renowned ambassador of funk, soul, and electronic music, keyboardist, producer, Afro-futurist, and guiding force of light for so many, has transitioned at the age of 65, the post read. After an extensive and noble battle with cancer, he now gracefully rests in peace and power. After playing piano in Detroit as a kid and studying music in Oakland, Michigan with jazz pianist Harold McKinney, Fiddler came into the spotlight singing with the R&B group Enchantment in the early 1980s, touring with the group and helping craft its later work. Following the band's final album, Utopia, released in 1983, he joined George Clinton's Parliament-Funkadelic, whom he played with from 85 to 96. In 1991, he and his brother Thomas, who played bass, created a familial duo named Mr. Fiddler and released their first album, With Respect, blending then modern drum machines with the 1940s era musical inclinations that had shaped Amp's ear as a child. Amp was a versatile keyboardist, equally adept at playing warm Fender Rhodes grooves or squiggly synthesizer arpeggios. Skills honed during his decade with P-Funk from 86 to 96. He was also a prolific session player, working with artists like Seal, Maxwell, and Raphael Sadiq. The thing that I was always keen on as an artist was to leave my ego at home, Mr. Fiddler said in a 2003 Red Bull Music Academy lecture. I think that humility, having that sense of just being there for people and giving, is what got me into getting more. Fiddler had a striking, stylish presence. He favored flamboyantly psychedelic attire and wore his hair either in an expansive afro or sculpted vertically into a mohawk that would make him seem even larger than a 6'2" frame. In the early 2000s, he began recording under his own name on neo-soul albums like Waltz of a Ghetto Fly and Afro Strut, showcasing his raspy but soothing voice. He also played keyboards for numerous electronic music producers in Detroit, including Moody Man, Theo Parrish, and Carl Craig. As a kid in Detroit, I used to listen to bebop, and I saw videos from the 40s and was overwhelmed, Fiddler told the Times in 1991. I immersed myself in that era. I even got a 1940 Chrysler and a 1946 Plymouth. I was wearing 1940s clothes as well. But Mr. Fiddler's most crucial role may have been as a bridge between generations of Detroit musicians. First as a wide-eyed wonderkind among the veteran P-Funk players, then as a beloved mentor to the hip-hop and electronic music aspirants of the 90s and the 2000s. It's just so rare, especially in the entertainment business, to see figures who give without the expectation of getting anything back. Don Charnas, the author of the 2022 book Dilla Time, said in an interview, "A generation of folks were blessed by Amp's generosity." Fiddler himself was a protege of the Parliament-Funkadelic impresario George Clinton. In the mid-1980s, Clinton heard one of Fiddler's demo recordings and offered him the keyboard chair in P-Funk once held by Bernie Worrell. "Mr. Fiddler helped me do amazing things," Mr. Clinton wrote in his 2014 memoir, "Brothers be, yo, like George, ain't that funkin' kinda hard on you?" Amp was a jazz musician and he helped create some of these extended pieces. While Parliament-Funkadelic was booked for the 1994 Lollapalooza tour, Fiddler ran into Q-Tip from A Tribe Called Quest and enthusiastically told him about the rising J Dilla and his work with the upcoming Detroit hip-hop group Slum Village. "We got to Detroit, and Amp comes onto the bus with Dilla," Q-Tip recalled in an episode of the docuseries Hip Hop Evolution. Dilla is smiling ear to ear with glasses on like, yo, here's our tape. Later, I'm listening to it with Trugoy of De La Soul, and we're like, those beats are crazy. This shit was kind of like what I did, but way better. I played it for Questlove, Common, Farside. I was talking about him to everybody. Brought Amp to Europe for the first time, but the globetrotting never stopped. Among the experiences he cherished most were playing at the Shrine in Lagos, Nigeria, with the Afrobeat percussionist Tony Allen, and recording at Sly Dunbar and Robbie Shakespeare Studio in Jamaica for the three men's 2008 joint project, Inspiration Information, which I highly recommend that you check out and listen to. It's on Apple Music. It's really, really good. Excellent. Fiddler also worked with Maxwell, Prince, Raphael Sadiq, and a number of other artists in his career. Rest easy, Brother Amp, Questlove wrote on Instagram, for all those talks during the P-Funk tour, for all the music, especially, of course, mentoring the ones who mentored us. Dilla, thank you, brother. This was taken from both the obituaries in the LA Times and the New York Times, so check them out for a fuller appreciation of Amp Fiddler. May you rest in peace. May your memory be a blessing. Cheers, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe.